Hey there guys, it's Leslie with LuvINK&Paper, and it's Tuesday, and I was busy at school and I forgot to do our regular reminders. I try really hard to let you guys know, hey, it's Tuesday, make sure you are looking for me at 7 o'clock and all of that kind of stuff. And yeah, totally spaced. It was a good day at school though, so that was nice. And anyway, so good. I see a few of you joining, which is great since it's just exactly 7 o'clock. So here's this month's host code still. I will keep this going through probably the end of the, yep, I'll think of it in a second, the weekly deals. Okay, so tomorrow is the last of this week's weekly deals. Okay, and there were some good ones on there. I think the Eden dies were there, and there was some ribbon and stuff like that. So check those out. You can just go to my online store and click specials and they'll pop up. And as usual, if you are interested in getting anything, but it seems like the minimum shipping is going to wipe out any savings that you might get, just let me know, email me, text me, whatever, and I can put in an order, gather several together and put them in, and then we pay a little less in the shipping. Okay. So tomorrow's Wednesday. Thursday morning, I will have another the last set of deals for you. All right, and I will send an email as soon as I can get it together. It usually means making a graphic and all those kinds of fun things, but I will get that out on Thursday, and I have some other things to do on the computer and stuff on Thursday, so I will get all that done. Okay. All right, what's hiding under here? Oh, just the weekly deals to remind me to tell you. I believe my paper pumpkins are waiting at home for me. The spooky something. Anyway, those paper pumpkin party is next Monday. This coming weekend, I have Women's Weekend down at Camp Dakota, so I'll be down there. All right, so tonight I am going to share with you something that came into my inbox. I am actually on a couple of other Demonstrator email lists, okay, which is not necessarily a bad thing. All right, it gives me some jumping off places. It helps me figure some things out, whatever. Anyway, so one of the people that I get emails from is Jessica Taylor. Okay, Jessica created a wonderful PDF on how to use a card sketch. Okay, some of you have seen card sketches before. Most don't include measurements. Jessica was wonderful and added them, but most sketches don't offer you the measurements. They just give you the shapes. But there is nothing that says just because you're looking at a sketch like this one that you have to use a circle. Okay, you can substitute any shape you want. If it's Valentine's Day and you want to do a heart, do a heart. If it's summer and you want to do a butterfly, do a butterfly. There's nothing that says this shape or whatever has to be that exact shape. Okay, so let me show you a couple more. All right, So this one just puts the greeting right on the card front. Right. This one doesn't specifically show where the greeting goes. You could stamp at the top and leave room. You could add a strip to do the greeting. Okay, so lots and lots of options. Okay. You could put your greeting on the shape and have the designer series paper or something do most of the talking. Okay. So some sketch ideas. Where do you find sketches? You could probably find them on Pinterest. I'm not a Pinterest girl, but you could probably find them on Pinterest. You can do a Google search for sketches, okay, card sketches, and find them there. Card sketches come in, you know, lots of things. There may even be some like on Split Coast or something like that. Anyway, what I did, so let me go through some of the things that she says. Okay, she says pick your supplies. It helps to sort of, maybe you have a particular package of designer series paper or something that you want to start with. Okay, I like to start that way because then my colors are right there for me. Okay, so I know for the card that I used, the Awash and Beauty designer series paper, some of the coordinating colors were Balmy Blue, Blushing Bride, Calypso Coral, Granny Apple Green, Mary Merlot, Mossy Meadow, Polished Pink, and So Saffron. Okay, so I did some playing around, and we can start with that one. So I found the Blushing Bride. Oops, so I'm going to use this as the front. Okay. I knew that I was using this designer series paper. I could do it this way though, if I wanted to. Okay. And then I have, so let me tell you which sketch I used. Hang on. And then I'll show you that this one I changed the direction. Okay. So I'm going to actually make this card, but let me show you. So I chose this card sketch. So this piece of basic white is 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. The Blackberry Bliss is 3 1/2 by 3 1/2. Now the designer series paper, this card was intended to go this way. I didn't want it to go this way. I don't have to. I can change it. You're not locked in, okay? So I just changed this and changed the measurement to 2 by 4 1/4 instead of 2 by 5 1/2, okay? But I have some that are 2 by 5 1/2. Okay, and then you have your card base that's 5 1/2 by 8 1/2 scored at 4 1/4. All right, so I chose all of the cards that I'm going to show you tonight. Use this number 2 sketch. All right, so that's the first thing. Pick your supplies, okay? Second thing is to cut your paper, all right? Then stamp any images, layer your card together, and then add any embellishments, okay? So some tips from Jessica include the simplest way is just to follow it. Just to follow it exactly, okay? But you have lots of different options for your layers. You can use solid cardstock, embossed cardstock, pattern papers, or you could even stamp your own designer series paper or something, okay? So you can add embellishments or extra cardstock layers, and then don't be afraid to do your own thing. You don't have to follow the sketch or the measurements exactly. Just use them as a starting point, okay, which is what I did in a couple of places. All right, so let's let's do this one first, and then I've got a couple of more that I want to share with you. All right, so Polished Pink is one of the colors, and I'm using the, let's see if I can unbury it here. I'm using the Artistically Inked stamp set. Okay, I'm using this big image, I'm using the center, I'm using the leaves, and I'm using the big thanks. All right, so And I'm doing that because I didn't happen to have the set that kind of coordinates with the Awash with Beauty Designer Series paper. I bought the paper, but not the set, the stamp set or the dies. So I'm just going to give that some pressure there. Okay. Ooh, I might have wanted to stamp that off a little bit. That polished pink is bright. I forget about that sometimes. That's okay. And then I'm going to match this darker mossy meadow color with the leaves. Okay. And I think I'll put a couple more sets of leaves down here. And I'm going to muck up my thing. That's okay. All right. So we've got our leaves. Okay. So let's see. And we're going to use a little So Saffron, which will match in here. Okay. Use some So Saffron to do the center of the flower. There. Okay. Then this can go right on the Blackberry Bliss. Could have used Rich Razzleberry, I suppose. Or even the polished pink. Or the mossy meadow. I could have chosen a lot of colors for that. But I chose that one. Now, before I adhere all of that, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to kind of eyeball where I want it. Okay. So I'm thinking I kind of want things like this. But if I muck up my greeting, I want to be able to change things up a little bit, okay? So we're going to think about our thanks down here. But if it doesn't go the way I think it's going to go, then we will end up changing things a little. But let's try it and see. Okay. Hopefully, it's stamped well. Pretty good. Okay. So, we have all of that. So now I can go ahead and put all of this down. I think I will put that other layer up on dimensionals. And that's another thing. Most sketches don't tell you about dimensionals or whatever, so you get to do whatever you want. Now, there are times when you do a card and you notice that there's a tiny little overlap. Don't worry, just trim it off. Apparently not all paper cutters are created equal. Who knows? You would think that 4 1/4 is 4 1/4, but not always. So I sure would love to know who's out there. So give me a hello or something and let me know who's watching tonight on this rainy Tuesday. Well, it's rainy here. I don't know if it's raining where you are, but it's raining pretty good here. Which means my sunflowers are happy. They're getting some water. I haven't been out to water them in a couple days. All right. There we go. Woo! All right. So I'm going to bring this down a little bit so it's not exactly half and half. Okay. And then, well, I happen to have these elegant faceted gems sitting right here, so let's pop a few of these on there. And we'll put, since this is already popped up, it's going to help with the gems. So I'm going to put one here on the pink, and then I'm going to put some smaller ones up on this layer. I'll put one over here and one kind of like a water drop on the flower. Okay, so you get that sort of triangular shape. You have your odd number. All the art theory people should be very happy. Okay, so there's one. Okay, so let me show you the one that I actually started with, because I was playing around with some things, and I'm just loving sunflowers right now. And so, yeah, I think I really want it to go this way. Now I do have a tiny little mark up there. I'm not sure my sand eraser is going to take it off, but we're going to give it a shot. Early espresso is pretty dark, so I'm not sure I'm going to be able to get that off. But sometimes, well, not really. I may be able to figure that out later. All right, so what I did was I took, what is this called? Because I used it twice. The Gingham Cottage Designer Series paper. There are so many ginghams in there. Oh my gosh, they're gorgeous. So if you don't have that, you probably should. Anyway, so I took this piece of garden green and I used the smaller side. One is a bigger, I'm not sure if that's plaid. I think it's gingham, which is different than plaid. I think plaid gets to have more lines or something like that. I don't know. If somebody else knows, you should. If somebody else knows, you should tell me what the difference between plaid and gingham are. Okay, so we're going to put this across. So this time I did follow the sketch a little more accurately. I went the same direction. Okay, so we're going to go this way across. There we go. And we'll go ahead and put this on. So this I used, hang on, let me tell you what I did for this. Because I have done this sunflower in lots of different ways. Okay, I have painstakingly colored it with the blends. I have stamped it just more or less tone on tone. So like crushed curry on So Saffron. So there's a little bit of a contrast, but basically tone on tone. This time, all I did was take a couple of sponge daubers. So I stamped it in early espresso and then used some early espresso on a sponge dauber for the center, and then used some crushed curry. And so what I did with that was I started closer in and then kind of worked my way out and didn't get freaked out if some went outside the lines. But the darkest part was sort of in closer, and then I just worked out until when there wasn't a whole lot of ink left on the dauber. Okay, so that's how I did that. All right, let's put some dimensionals on that because, well, you know, might as well. All right, so we'll put some dimensionals here. There we go. Kind of hope that this pouring rain stops before it's time to go home. Although I guess since I'm going home and I can just go get in some warm, snuggly jammies and have a cup of tea, it doesn't really matter if I get wet, right? All right. Now, I stamped the happy birthday pretty centered, and I had been thinking I would have this pretty centered. And I do think I still like that. I had toyed with going, because that's another thing. You can change where things end up. But I think I like that. All right, so there's another one. So now we have a vertical version. We have a horizontal version, both floral, okay? Let's step away from the flowers for just a minute and play with some Halloween. Okay, one of my favorite things that I've been playing with lately is the Bewitching Stamp Set. I really love it. I just love these little legs. Oh, and I don't think I brought... that's all right. I can use a blender pen to color a little bit. All right. So I have this set up on my Stamparatus. I set up the hat and the boots both so that they'll fit. All I'll have to do is turn the plate. So that's pretty great. So let's ink this up. The last couple of times I've wanted this to be the black to be a little darker. And sometimes with these real solid kind of stamps, it's hard to get the black as you want it. So sometimes you have to do it twice. So we'll just give this a really good press and see. See, it's not quite as dark as I would like it, which is why I'm using the Stamparatus, because now I can do it again. I can go in there and ink it up again and see how we do. This may be dark enough. It may not. I may need to do one more. We'll see. Okay. Let's see. Better. Definitely better. Okay. One more. So yeah, you're going to have to watch me do the boots 3 times too, I guess. All right. There. All right, now that is a black hat. Woohoo! All right, so now I'm going to just grab, I know this isn't really my Stampin' Up! Chamois, but that's okay. I'm going to just clean off the hat, turn the plate so it can do the boots, and they should, if I did this right, and you know, there's always the chance that I didn't, but let's see how we did. Are we seeing space? Because what you don't really want is a little bit. That's okay. I can kind of fix that. I think I've got a black marker. I can just widen up that black line or do another orange stripe to make it match. It'll be fine. No worries. So see, it's just the way it is. Just like Barbara Lash says, there are no mistakes in Stampin' Up. In fact, I was the art teacher. I subbed for the art teacher today. And I said to one of the kids, there are no mistakes in art. There's just happy accidents and opportunities. So that's kind of the way it goes. All right. Now that one little spot is gonna make me a little crazy, so let's see if we can really concentrate. Some pressure right there. Okay, how do we do? Oh, better, except, oops. All right, well, guess what, you guys? Cardstock has another side. Do I care? No. And I'll tell you why. Because I have some opportunities here. I can cut this out and put it on something else. I can yeah. So I think I'm not gonna worry too much about that. All right, so let's take my black marker. Nope. Let's take the orange pumpkin pie. Let's give it a squeeze. And let's have the cover open. And hey, what's on there? Don't know. Let's find out what's there. I don't know. Okay, well, it's gone now. All right, blender pen. All right, so we're gonna start with some of these other stripes so I get a feel for where I want them to be. Okay. Like that. There we go. And then we're just going to kind of go like this. So see, we just made an extra stripe. No worries. Life is good. All right. Oh, you know what? Hold on. Let's do the ribbon here. Okay. I was looking around the table to see if I happen to have, oh, I do have a yellow, which is nice. I can use So Saffron. There we go. Okay, so there's our orange. We'll clean off. So over off camera, I'm just rubbing the blender pen and rotating it until there is no more orange. Okay. Then we're gonna grab the So Saffron. And oops, that needs a little squish. Okay. Then we're going to use a little of that for our buckle. Okay. There. Oh, and the buckles on her shoes too. Boots. There we go. Have some nice gold buckles. Probably. I don't know if they should have been silver. Doesn't matter. All right, there we go. So then I'm just going to clean that blender pen again and get all the So Saffron off of there. And so you just keep rotating it and rubbing it until you get all the color off. Because what you don't want is to have that color there the next time you go to use it. Now, your blender pen may be stained at the tip. That's totally fine. But you don't want all of this color on it. Okay, so you got to scribble that off. All right. I'm still working on what we're going to do about that. Okay, so let me just put this on the black. So again, we have our 3 1/4 inch square and our 3 1/2 inch square. Okay. Now I took more of this cottage paper. The only pumpkin pie though was, it didn't have black, which is what I wanted. I wanted orange and black, except for this really big print. I didn't want that. And I didn't want this side. Okay, I really wanted black. So, what to do, what to do? All right, well, it's actually not that hard. What I did was I took this and just direct to paper, depending on how dark you want it, you can stamp right on, like you can press right on it, or you can just drag your pad and just give that hint of color, okay? Which is what I tried to do, and then it moved, and so then I ended up with more color than I kind of intended. But that's okay, because it really was fine. And you can have it sort of modeled, so it's lighter in some places and darker in others. Okay, so you can kind of have it have different variations. Okay, that's an option too. All right, so you can have lots of sort of texture on it, which is fun. Okay, oh, I almost forgot. Almost forgot the little spider hanging off our witchy's hat. And hopefully, I kind of wish this one, you ever wish that some stamp sets that it was a photopolymer, or at least certain stamps were? Yeah, I'm catching edges all over the place tonight. I don't know what's wrong. Oh well. Anyway, no big deal. Okay. So, let's put this. Oh, you know what? Hang on. I found this really big Happy Halloween, and I wanted to use that. So this is one where we're gonna shift it quite a bit here. And we're gonna have this over pretty far and up pretty far, because I want space to get the Happy Halloween over here in the corner. Okay. And so this is an old paper pumpkin stamp, but I really liked it. And so we're going to just put that right down here in the corner, like that. And now we have our, there. Okay. There we go. Put that there. And I think this time we'll leave this flat. Okay. There. Okay, so I'll have to do a little fix. And I'm not sure what I'm going to use to fix that right now. Okay, so tune in next time, and I'll try to have fixed my little oops. All right. I'm not going to call it a mistake. I'm just going to say that I'm not crazy about how that edge stamped. So we'll just fix that another time. All right, so that's using a sketch. Okay, so that's 3 different cards using a sketch. Okay, so give it a try. Go out, find yourself a sketch. And I think what I will do is download, I just printed the PDF, but I will give Jessica credit and include it in my Thursday email. Okay, so I will try and have that in there so that you can click and download your own copy of that super duper PDF. Okay? All right, well, thanks so much for joining me tonight, and I will see you after Women's Weekend. I will let you know all about it. All right, thanks, guys. Bye.